right. Well, hello there, everybody. This is a new series. It's basically just covering my adventures through Fantasy Premier League for the 2021-2022 season. I was going to do an introductory episode for Game Week 1, however, certain events made that not possible, so here we are, starting with Game Week 2. I did have a Game Week 1 team, and it went pretty well. I ended up in the top 10% of all players, so yeah, it's good times. So let's get it started, and we'll review my team from Game Week 1 before getting onto the preview of the Game Week 2 team. Alright, so as you can see here, this was my Game Week 1 team. As you can see, well, we'll start with the bench. Not really anybody of note here. We got Ben Foster, cycling goalkeeper, gotta love it. Ben Johnson, Yves Bissouma, and Monquillo. These are basically just throwaways because I tend to go for the ideal of put all the money on the field as much as possible. So yeah, with that being said, let's take a look at our defense from the start. So we have Sanchez, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Luke Shaw, shout out Roberto Carlos, and Simakis. So what my thinking was here was, well, Sanchez was a throwaway at the end. I tend not to put a whole lot of money into my defense and my goalkeeper, just because clean sheets are such a big risk. All it takes is one goal, and it's done. As you can see what happened with Luke Shaw. Yeah, it was a great team game for Man United, as you can see, because Bruno got 20 points, but Shaw only gets 1 point because one goal from Leeds and a yellow card, and that's it. He's down to 1 point. And you can see the same thing happen with Sanchez, where he was going up against Burnley, projected to be a great matchup, but one goal, and actually 2 goals against Burnley, couldn't get it done. But hey, I'll take the 2 points, and this is why I don't like to spend a lot of money on defenders and goalkeepers. So all in all, not a terrible loss. It's unfortunate. One goal, especially for Shaw, would have made it makes a one goal makes that much difference. It's unfortunate, but Sanchez, bit of loss. It's okay. We move because the other 2 defenders that I had on my squad, TAA and Simakis, absolute W's. I mean, Trent, I was always going to go for. He was starting against Norwich. That's always going to be a favorable matchup. Plus, he's an attacking defender, so there's always a chance of him getting an assist or even a goal. And Simakis, he was a brilliant budget pickup because Andy Robertson, unfortunately, got injured. But now I have this defender that only cost me $4 million starting, and he gets 6 points. 6 points for Trent. The defense is a W. Moving on to the midfield, well, you can see the 2 right there. That was in everybody's team, and chances are one of these 2 were your captain. Big up Mo Salah and Bruno Fernandes, whatever you want to call him. He puts up points and was your king of the game week. So hat trick from open play, you gotta love it. So yeah, I went with the captain for Salah. I wasn't expecting that big of a game from Manchester United, but hey, Fernandes, credit to him, did great. The other 2 that you see there, Mason Mount, he got the assist, I think, because yes, he drew the foul on what would end up being the Marcos Alonso goal from the free kick. Great, worked out. I'll take my 3 points for that. Thank you very much. Emi Buendia, unfortunately, didn't work out as well for Aston Villa. They just didn't have it against Watford. But yeah, I'm hoping that the link up between him and Ings, it's going to take a couple games for them to gel properly, and I fully anticipated that. So they are definitely a buy and hold. For me, their value is going to increase exponentially over the year, which takes us onto the forwards where you see Danny Ings. He salvaged it with a 97th minute pen. You gotta love it. A little bit of not the greatest of play from Villa that day, but Ings managed to salvage me a couple points. Gotta love it. Same thing that happened with Calvert-Lewin. Big boy DCL, last late minute header in a game that was already done. It was great. Callum Wilson, unfortunately, I was expecting a little bit more from him against West Ham, but he still picked up a goal. It just seems like Newcastle they're probably going to get relegated this year based on what we saw in the West Ham game. But yeah, all in all, that is my team from Game Week 1. So now let's move on to my selections for Game Week number 2. Alright, folks. Well, here we are. This is the team for Game Week 2. As you can see, it's actually very similar to my last week's team. Defense is unchanged. Same goalkeeper, rocking with Sanchez against Watford. It's one of those things where maybe he bounces back, maybe he doesn't. Even if he doesn't, I'm okay with not having to spend transfer points on him. But as you can see, I've made 2 transfers, which is swapping out Mason Mount for Sarr and swapping out Callum Wilson for Michail Antonio. These are my only 2 moves, and I'm yes, I want to make these moves. because, well, both Manchester United and Liverpool have very good matchups this week. Manchester United is going up against Southampton, so of course Fernandes and Shaw are solid pickups. Liverpool is going up against Burnley, so Salah, TAA, and Simakis still solid. And I can still leave Simakis in there because Robertson he's scheduled to return for next week's matchup against Chelsea. This week, it should still be Simakis in the lineup, so I am more than confident with him. I decided to hold on to Ings and Bundia. The main reason being that even if they don't perform, I don't think there's any moves that I could have made that would have justified spending an extra 8 points on transfers. So, like, whatever they do, like, if they still put up a decent amount of points, I'll be happy with it, because I don't think there's, like, a combo that I could have gone for that would be both within my price range and actually make the transfer cost worth it. So, looking at the team, we got Sanchez going up against Watford. That's a questionable, but TAA against Burnley, Shaw against Southampton, Simakis against Burnley, Salah against Burnley, and Fernandes against Southampton. Those should all be solid matchups. Like, from just those 5 players, I would expect combined, hopefully around 50 points just from that. Calvert-Lewin is going against Leeds. That one I'm a little bit unsure about. There's a very good chance that Leeds, well, Bielsa is going to be absolutely fuming after game week 1. So I'm assuming Leeds has a better response to how Everton comes out. However, DCL, for whatever reason, he is always a monster in the first game, like the first couple game weeks. Later on in the season, I'll probably let him go, but for right now, yeah, I'm going to hold on to it. And then Mikel Antonio, he's just always a force. He just, no matter what, like, you can't match up with this man. You can match up against the rest of West Ham, but Antonio, unstoppable. And of course, I've talked about Ings and Bundia, why I'm holding on to them. And they're going against Newcastle. So, I mean, if there's a good team to have a bounce back against right now, it would be Newcastle. And then the final pickup is Sarr. And honestly, like, if you watch the game against Villa, he played extremely well. And the other reason is he's replacing Mount. And Chelsea is going up against Arsenal. And for whatever reason, the past couple years, Chelsea just cannot compete with Arsenal. It is completely bewildering to me. And who knows, maybe this year will be different, maybe not. But I'm gonna hedge my bets, and I'll take the discount for Sarr right now. So as of right now, you can't see it on this screen. However, this leaves me with an extra 1.4 mil in terms of players I could spend it on. I decided to save it for this week and use it for any crazy moves I might make next week when I have to make a whole lot of moves. I think next week I might end up using one of my transfer chips, either wildcard or free hit. You know the deal. All right, but there you have it, folks. Sanchez, Alexander-Arnold, Shaw, Simakis, Salah, Fernandes, Buendia, Sarr, Ings, Antonio, Calvert-Lewin. Bench is unchanged. That's my game week team. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good weekend of I'll humor the English people. Good weekend of football. I'm Canadian, so I'll stick with my soccer. All right. So with that being said, if you are competing as well, I wish you the best of luck. It should be a good time. And hey, if I helped you out here, appreciate it. If you want, feel free to like and subscribe. Or you can follow me on Twitch. I do a lot of my content over on Twitch, and I might actually do some future fantasy stuff, both Premier League and otherwise, over on Twitch. So yeah, appreciate you watching it. Hopefully you have a good game week. And I will see you for the review after everything wraps up here. That's it for me. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Peace!